At some point, we're gonna have to go back and drop Kim off. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed. You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Saigayan, also known as the apricot suzerainty.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Then how does she know you're there? Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here, and we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
What he said. We're cops. We don't cause trouble. We take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then, which you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there.
She points to the building behind her.
He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat. What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black Hound.
That's you, alright. Blackhound licking your own heels. I'm considered an ill omen. Why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe we are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park your motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around the coast? Nay, I haven't seen anyone lately. Because she's blind, which you seem to have forgotten. Okay, but do you know who I'm talking about? This is my little cinderblock town, she nods with a wrinkled smile. I know what goes on around here. She's being evasive. She knows something. There's a murder in Martinez. He points east. She might be a suspect. We'd appreciate your help. Would you now? She turns to him. I don't know how this world works, and it doesn't work when people tell on each other. This is like when that man locked himself in the woodshed. We just need to help her come out. No, it's not like that, man. With him, we called you. Right now, you just arrived by yourself, like a raven plucking at the window glass. I see. You know something, but you've decided not to tell us. There's not much to tell. People come and go. Now, was there something else? I see, ma'am. The lieutenant turns to you. I hope you don't mind if we look around anyway. Ruby was here. You know it. What is in this fishing village? Just us. She sounds tired. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. What do you mean? This is pretty much a non-place, she grins. A gap, a blank spot in the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street. The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny. Who else lives in this village? Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. She nods her head across the courtyard. But they're away right now. And then there's the drunks, she sighs. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. I met Lillian already. Lillian is tough, she nods. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and the kids, this place wouldn't have a spark of life left. Haven't seen any drunks yet, though. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. She slowly shakes her head. Don't have to look long to find these guys. Let's see, is there a way to make a little money around here? Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks lived... Oh, wait. Oh. Okay. Here, for you, she lets out a dry chortle. No, officer. The only money we have is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women, and then forgot about. There's got to be something here. Tell me. She waves her hand southwest. Over there you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the Pox. The Pox? What's that? An old military hospital and its surroundings. She looks towards the buildings to the south, where it used to be during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shocked veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses, stacks as far as the eye can see. What happened to the hospital? The goodwill ran out. She tightens the scarf around her neck. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. Any other topics I want to talk about? What's further down the coast? Not much, she replies, wipes her forehead. There's an abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Why is it abandoned? Some things just don't fly, officer. She smiles a gap-toothed smile and smells the air. Look around. Who go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then. So they don't hold services there anymore. The Ecclesiastes? No, they tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. She frowns. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church. She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking. I get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on? Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. She scoffs. It started a few days ago. Now it's blasting, even through the nights. And now suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that. What else is down the coast? Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty. Which is it, then? Apartments or electrical plant? I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. Used to be something, she shrugs. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara. Anything else of note? Of note, the old fish market up the boardwalk, but it's closed. You'd want to come to a fish market here? No one. That's why it's closed. After a long pause, she adds, it was once a bustling place back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else. That's it? There's got to be more along the coast. What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans. If you want a development opportunity, you can check the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut, though. We tried to get in, see if there's anything else to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. She drops a bar of soap in the bucket with a splash. And now you know everything there is to know about the coast. Tell me about yourself. Who exactly are you here? Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. My married name is Sadie. Now your turn, Mr. Lieutenant Double Your Freighter Harrier Dubois. Quite the handle you've got there, the old woman nods with evident respect. So many titles. One of them is double. She's got a couple of ranks herself. Honored Chief and so on. Where could someone stay around here? Stay. Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings are what you're looking for, I've got free room in the shack. Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. How much is it? I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. I'm not sure it's appropriate for the RCM to accept free accommodations. The old woman shrugs. Or don't. It's your choice. No skin off my teeth. You got yourself a tenant. Get keys to your new home. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police. Key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. Well, if you're not in the hostel in the morning, know where to find you. He looks around the shack and adds, here in a shack. He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Cool. I could have saved myself 20 bucks. Dang. Okay, the door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted. Unlock the shack door with the key. Okay, I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy and check out your new living arrangement. Look for any signs of Ruby. But just so you know, after we're done with the day, I'll still be staying in the Whirling in Rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack each morning. Okay, so we can now enter... I'm gonna quick save in case this ends the day. The floorboards creak under your step. I could chop off the mutton chops. On the table, you see a bowl of water, rough soap next to it, and a hand mirror. Straight razor soaks inside the wash basin. First, wash the smell of death off yourself. Scrubbing all the necrotic tissue off your hands takes a while. The fingernails are especially hard. Death has made its way into every nook and cranny. Should have used gloves. Detectives use gloves when they go rummaging around inside someone's dead brain. But man persist, and finally your bruised hands look clean and presentable. Sort of. The sudden absence of morbid dead tissue smells uplifting. Is shaving the right call? The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red. Hair unkempt. Wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. I like the mutton chops. We're leaving it. They're iconic. Old science fiction magazines, books about bird watching, an almanac from 39. Intricate heat machine hums quietly, giving out pleasant warmth. Using a thermodynamic expander condenser cycle. Nice. As you look the floorboards in this corner, look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack. It's clear one of them isn't quite level with the others. Edge of the floorboard next to it looks scratched. Move the board aside. A hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. What's in here? Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks more like reeds. There might be something hidden in the sand, though. Something bad. Someone's night thoughts. A last resort. A bad idea. Search through sand and sawdust. Stick your hand and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like the outside. Find dust, and then something hard wrapped in paper. What is it? A small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A bullet. A 9mm bullet to be exact. Fit for all muzzle loaders of that caliber. This bullet isn't for a breech loader like the murder weapon? The floorboard isn't interested. Maybe the washerwoman is. You have enough to confront her with. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling this isn't ammunition against you. It's for herself. And I don't want to stop the expression. But that's a fairly comfortable-looking bed compared to the horrors that I've been living in. Well, at the very least, I get to save myself $20 a day, which makes a massive difference in what dumb stuff I can buy. Bit of a shame that I spent it at the beginning of the day. If I had half of mine, I'd time cop back and save the money, but I shouldn't. Let's talk to her. I shouldn't.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Why was there a bullet under the floorboards in your shack? God damn that girl, she murmurs softly. A bullet, the lieutenant turns to you and gives you a little nod. Then turns to the washerwoman. You didn't put it there, did you? She did. Gone and hid things there, she shakes her head. She's usually a good tenant, and not a stupid one either. You rented the room to her? The old woman sits in silence, her hands moving to the water bucket. Some water sloshes over the edge. Slowly she speaks, wringing out a rag. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's in trouble, or just looking for solitude, I've made it clear we welcome all kinds of people here. When was this? She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. Her wrinkled hand needs a blue rag in the water. What's she gotten herself into, that girl? She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's been hiding out from trouble before, but this seems different. That's for the police to find out. The lieutenant takes out his familiar blue notebook. Right then, please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few. Said she left on Monday. Yes, early with the dogs. Around 8 o'clock, I think. The room exactly as she left it? I cleaned it, like I always do. Was there anything there? No. The truth, sir. What's she like, Ruby? She's good company, knows how to talk to an old woman. She rubs her cold hands together. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation, so I really appreciate that about her. Did she talk to you much during her last stay? No, she was mostly silent this time. Kept to herself. What do you mean? She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room. Why do you think she left the bullet in there? How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun. She looks towards her shack, thinking. You could ask her about your hunch. That it was a desperate measure. See if she still thinks Ruby... if she thinks Ruby fits the bill. I have a possible explanation on my mind. I do tell. A seagull flies overhead, obviously a bad omen. It's an exit plan. Exit from what? The world. The lieutenant stops writing for a moment. He looks at you, then at the old woman. She tilts her head to the side, looking up at you, deep in thought. Then she makes up her mind. No, she's a fighter. She really believes that. I heard she's a heavy drinker with anger issues. You ever witness that kind of behavior? Nothing of the sort. She shakes her head. Sure, she was no stranger to the bottle. She fit in that way. But I only know her to have a beer on the beach while watching the sunset. She isn't what you'd call a drunk. Even offered me some from time to time. Said it was part of the camioneer life. But I never saw her lose control of herself, the way most people do. Did she have any technical equipment with her? Radio stuff? Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape milieux she'd made. She brushes her forehead with the back of her hand. Water drips to the ground. Although, I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that. Where'd she go? I don't know. Further up the coast. She tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. Heard her rushing in those heavy boots heading up north. It's a peninsula. She might be trapped. After a moment of silence, she says, You'll never find her, you know. Her tone is without malice. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived. I wouldn't worry about that, ma'am. We're persistent. Further up the coast we go, then. Are you sure you wouldn't rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire in the heater. She drops the rag into the bucket. It's clean now. Seems like a better idea to me. No. You can do it. You still have plenty of juice in you before you drop. Behind these cinder block houses, old pre-war ruins rise into the sky like dark places. Dark palaces, the wind calls. Bye, I am off. One thing, officer, if you do find her, please go easy on her. She looks around, the air is getting colder. She really means it. It's an honest plea. She's a good girl, whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in. Yeah, I don't think Ruby did it. If Ruby's got 9mm bullets, then it's not her. She bought our gun. Construction material. Whoever planned to build this house left in a hurry. Oh. I was able to loot that through the building. That's funny. Okay, do we talk to the kids? We'll talk to the kids. Lillian's twin. Scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. Can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. Watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. It must be Lillian's twins. This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker. Lily's our mom, explains the other one, tongue still lolling out of his mouth. I already said that. Stonekicker laughs suddenly, his head too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Wow, so intellectually stimulating. You guys look identical. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of, the obvious fact that you just stated. He looks just like me, the other one says. Yeah, I said that. The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered by some kind of dirt. You're bad with kids, the lieutenant marks with evident glee. And what are you, Kidmaster General? Maybe I am, he grins. Now how about some actual police work? We're not getting anything out of here. Kids, have you seen any bad people around? One of the twins looks up, his mouth slightly open. What's bad people, he asks. Only questioning 4-year-olds without their parents present is going to crack the case, says the lieutenant. Then we're definitely doing it. We're definitely not. We don't have anything. Okay, so what is this house? How to see the details? The colors, all warm and welcoming, are cozy, though. Flower trough where nothing really grows. Maybe in spring. I'm pretty sure this is the old woman's house, but I'm gonna just check it anyway. I feel safe and warm in here. Not like the outside. Oh. I am not taking the taxidermy. Whose kid is this? Little Lily. Hello, mister. Young girl, barely 4 or 5 years old, sits on the sofa. She's looking at you with frank curiosity. She clutches a small animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around. Are you Lillian's daughter? Yes, I am. Little Lily. She gazes at you with her big eyes. You know my mom? Yes, we met earlier. That's nice. My mom is great, she nods. She's never angry or anything. Friends outside your brothers? Yes, she frowns. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. Suddenly she starts snickering. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical, right? Said the same thing. They look identical. Identic. She slowly processes the word, then snickers with laughter. What's that? Point to the stuffed bird hanging from the ceiling. It's a grouse, she yelps, smiling broadly. You might be able to get on Gart's side if you make up for the school you broke. What's it for? I don't know. I don't need to get on Gart's side. Maybe? Can I have it? I know someone who really likes stuffed birds. Sure, just go and get it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. Alright, just grab it from the ceiling and go. What's the thing you're holding? Pointed at her toy. It's Lambie. He's my friend. Sort of. Like, she holds up a fuzzy beast to demonstrate. Lambie is a stuffed lamb. Admittedly has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing and the fur is tattered in parts. Lambie looks soft. Yeah, very soft. Suddenly she pushes the stuffed animal towards your face. Press your cheek against Lambie. Isn't he soft? She's right. Lambie is very soft. She rubs the white fur against your cheek, then returns the lamb to her lap, cuddling it. Do you know anyone named Ruby? Ruby. Suddenly the girl gets all serious and leans in as if she's about to tell you a secret. My mom tells me that I'm a big girl, but she doesn't know that I can't say L. Or like, sometimes I can, but L. Kids, the lieutenant shakes his head. Goodbye. Bye. The girl's large, curious eyes remain fixed on you. Grouse. Industrial coal pellets burn with an orange glow. I feel kind of bad for taking the grouse, but like, said I could have it. Admittedly, trusting the words of a 4 and 5-year-old. Probably not the best. I feel like I should pay somebody for it. Okay, talk to the drunks.
Don't go, Abigail.
Grumbles an unshaven man with a ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes at you as if in recognition, then turns away. The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her, you hear? Don't call Abigail.
Who's Abigail?
Oh, Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
You're not going to get anything from this guy. He's too drunk. Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life, but this guy's a little too drunk. Have you seen any women around here lately? Abigail? His voice perks up, then trails into a string of random babbling. Abigail, where are you? Why shouldn't I call Abigail? He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer. Lean in. His breath smells harsh like a toxic swamp as he whispers to you, Don't call Abigail! Don't call Abigail! Then waves his hand as if shooing you away. Oh, these... Yeah, he's not useful. What about these guys?
Hey! Tequila!
Idiot Doom Spiral. A 30-something man clad in a two-piece Lycra TM tracksuit puts down his Pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see ya! How's business? How's the old reality situation treating ya?
Shake his hand.
So what's happening?
What's tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or something. Or leader of the 4th Gang Street. Good, these people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later. Dunno, people tell me I'm a cop. I'm getting used to that. Or, no, I've re-entered reality to conquer it, to bend it to my will. I am the law!
That's the spirit. I used to shape reality into my image a long time ago, but these days are over now.
He looks at the shit-stained Lycra TM jacket with a grim expression.
Sadly, things ain't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of arse back. No word from my business buddies.
Takes a sip from his beer. Idiot doom spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good high-concept conversation at last. Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around here lately? Can't really remember seeing any woman after losing my keys. It's a touchy topic. He hasn't gotten laid in ages. Really has no idea who Ruby is, sire. What do you guys do around here? We're saving the world, he looks at his comrades. Please don't call. Don't call, begs the man in the pipe. Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, long ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. That didn't work out. Now it's a pirate's life for me. What is a tequila sunset? You keep saying it. It's you. You're tequila sunset. How do you know this? We've met before, don't you remember? Nope, you sure don't. Nope. Aha! He takes a sip from his beer. Do you want to know how tequila sunset came to be? Tequila sunset. Something ominous there. For some reason, the name tequila fills me with foreboding. Maybe I shouldn't learn what it means. Think you feel bad now. Wait till you hear the story. No. You need the wisdom. Go ahead. Let's take a sip to moisten up my cords. He takes a big sip, then begins. Tequila sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday, and by tequila sunset, I mean you, the man, the myth. Was I alone? Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. Takes another sip, then continues. We got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get pissed drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people you're a police officer. And it would be really effed up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept if you ask me. It is? Oh yeah, that's totally your style. Your partner's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can. Please continue. It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere in the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Oh. We took our motor carriage over the jump. We jumped the canal. Do you remember the sound of wood cracking, the billboard? Naturally loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. It's just the reality we're in. Naturally. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, as you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Not like someone jumped the canal. Oh, yeah. It even said that earlier, but I hadn't quite processed what that meant. So yeah, the bridge was up and I jumped over it. How did we leap through that? It sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold, a beat-up police carriage containing you, right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!" So naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, which he replied, "The time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things." Every word I said was true. Tequila sunset will break the looms of reality. Yeah, looms. Why not? Then you jammed the pedal and plowed right off the jetty through the ice. We ran towards the ice, so you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. We finally got you there. You were sitting on the beach, crying, said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. What else was there to do? Thank you, brothers, for your helping hand. We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that from now on. Wait, so is tequila sunset an event or a name? I'm not sure. I think you were the event, tequila sunset, you know, as opposed to tequila sunrise, which is long gone. My real name's Harry. No, that's just what your mother called you. Your real name is Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother. How long did we party for? Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. And at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian woman. How they're beautiful, and also whores, and so on. How one of them effed you up real bad. In a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looking sullen, got up, and left without saying anything. Wow, that's quite a story. Yeah, I bet Tequila is an effing legend around the precinct. You must be really proud to work with him. Only you knew. Did I tell you anything specific about this person that effed me? You're pretty vague about it. You kept saying you got effed real hard, and that we've all been effed too. Please don't open that door. No one's effed me. I do the effing around here. Abigail. It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Did I mention anything else? Losing anything else? Besides your gun and your badge? You said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too. That's a big one. Did I say anything about my colleagues? You told us that they're a bunch of effing losers whose main interest was cramping your style. More like you were cramping theirs. No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Did I say anything about the case? Yeah, said it was no biggie and you'd solve it in no time. Takes a strong puff of his beer. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now. A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism. It's not meant as a joke. He's sorry for the hermit cop. Did we talk about politics? No, not really. We talked a lot about sad churches and how everyone's just out to F you. Did you get a read on what kind of cop I was? You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for all the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you. I also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, stupid, stupid, stupid. Ooh, I don't need to hear anymore. He nods. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. You seem like you're characterized by your storytelling ability. Want to tell me another one sometime? Whoop-de-doo! So, now I'm an effing storyteller, he says, slapping his knee. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. Yeah, want to tell me how you became Idiot Doom Spiral? Depends, really. Are you willing to help me out? Gleam in his eyes and slouch in his posture is so incredibly familiar. You might get scammed here. I have a feeling this is going to cost me a lot. No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution of a little motivational package. You want booze, don't you? His eyes light up. I don't want it, man. I need it. Can't tell stories without it. Dry stories are boring, you see. Got anything for good old Idiot Doom Spiral? Bottle for the story seems fair to me. I got some sweet Commodore Red. Classy. He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork through the bottleneck. Before he can start, one of the other bums interjects. Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that? Don't call Abigail. Shut up, guys. I'm telling the story here. He turns to you. Something has happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual, founder/junior partner at a high-concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I call a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high-concept stuff. Developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me, so I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane. Did the jogging help? It did, with my trusty Sansorique tracksuit. I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit, he says thoughtfully, brushing dust off of his shit-stained pants. What happened? One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sounds of keys jangling in your pockets. He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound. His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes. So I removed the key ring and put the keys on the front for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The situation became very wet very quickly. Oh, what are we talking? Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. There's a trace of derision in his voice. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Ouch. Ouch indeed. Reality was looking rather grim. Just then, me lying on my ass in the mud puddle in the middle of the heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard, standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets. I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. You gotta be shitting me. He turns his head towards the skies and says, I wish I were, Tequila, I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office, so what happened next? Rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late. Most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. He pauses meaningfully. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Just then I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. Since I'd only hired the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. Company, well, you see where I'm going with this. Now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Takes a long swig of his drink. Wait, is that it? I feel like there's some steps missing. Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there's anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now. Why didn't you go to the authorities? Well, at one point they came to see me, but I didn't have any ID on me, so they tossed me in jail for 2 days. Can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. He shakes his head. Look on the bright side. You got one hell of a story. Yeah, maybe I've exaggerated certain parts over the years. When you tell a story too often, it begins to take on a life of its own. But what matters is, it's true to my subjective experience. Anyway, how's all the story one bottle gets you? He looks at it. Almost empty, this one. Truly, he was the soul of an artist. Why do you keep losing all your stuff? Good effing question. Tequila, if I knew the answer, you'd think I'd be hanging out on the beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty 2-piece lycra tracksuit. I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment and an even nicer piece of ass, but somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. Only thing I haven't lost are these 2 trunks. You of all people should emphasize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with. What's this about a lost jacket? Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Looks at you bleary-eyed. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila? Okay, where'd you lose it? If I knew where I'd lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market. That's a lot of places. Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You can ask around and see if anyone's seen it. Okay, let's see. What about the other drunks? My fellow members in the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, they're exactly what they look like. Hey, Tequila, you want to buy some speed? Shut the F up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember? Thought he was a cool cop. Don't call Abigail. And this is Abs. He points to the man in the pipe. Yeah, that's basically us. We drink together. It's the name of your agency. Agency, man. He takes a long, melancholic sip. The Boom Boom Room. Concept is combining high art with lowest forms of marketing. The color red, press, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who are developing a new universal poetic language, but then it all went to shit. Man mixing high and low, commodifying culture. That's extremely my shit. I know. He takes a long, wistful sip of beer. It was effing awesome. I know. Too bad I went on a jog unleashing a cascade of doom and washed it all away. What's up with the tracksuit? What? You never seen a 100% Lycra TM before? Go on, feel that primo material. The man extends an arm. Touch it. Good God, it's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing 2 jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human having touched it. Randomized trials have also found Lycra TM to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers, so you have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell. You don't even want to think about that. Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should be in a museum, probably. Takes another sip. Ah, you're lucky. It never lets me feel it. It's because your paws are effing filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You can wash up anytime. Okay. So let's go. Why does art inspire you so much? It does, yes. But what is art? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Would I fit in the art world, I mean? Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic. With that beard and those clothes disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture, too. I have been feeling critical lately. Yes, you seek substance, no vapid representations and reproductions of social mores, as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real living here. Become the art cop, half art critic, half cop. Okay, if 50% art critic is what's needed to free me from my rote repetition, so be it. Thought gained, actual art degree. I am contractually obligated to pick that one up. Exactly. It's not only your duty to catch criminals of the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and the derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble. The bushes are too thick and thorny to pass through. Oh, geez, we have to take the long way around. We got a lot of stuff done today. And a lot of stuff left to do. I'm gonna just check out a couple of these things quick. Cinder blocks, charred, makeshift fire pit. Magazines for lighting. Sense of light to the north. A washboard scrums. Filth from fabric. Broken glass, dusty shelves, and a forgotten chair. I feel like this is more area. We gotta go send Kim off, and then maybe go find that, the smoker. The dust-covered lilies. Tulips dried on a bed. White curtains have been drawn shut. No looking in. I thought there was something more. Oh, there is. It's just over here. I have to press tab every once in a while, I guess. I did say I needed some pants. Let's see if these pants are any better. +1 to the Kingdom of Conscience. Well, they look better than these pants. These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose. Moderate in every sense. You blend right in at some pleasant dinner party. I like regular, normal things. I know you do. These interstellar pants, like wearing a perfect compromise near nether regions. No one will call the moral intent on you like this, that's for sure. You're a little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal, even if you didn't want to. It's weird. Normal isn't a bad thing. Like, that's something I've actually kind of noticed in life. A lot of people are very focused on being special. Standing out in some way. Being unique. I think the thing is, like, everyone is unique. Even if you are normal or boring. Cold breeze is enough to make the wall planks creak. What is this? Postcard. A bow tie. Bow knot, +2 drama. Ooh. See a dark red chair in the dim light of the room. I don't see anything else, but we got a bow tie. I am just going to toss on everything and nothing. I don't know. Okay. Well, one way or another, let's go send Kim off before it's too late. I don't know how early it has to be, but I figured 21 o'clock. Okay, we want to go back this way. There's bottles and stuff there, but it doesn't look like I can actually collect them. And yeah, I might just wander around kind of late at night, looting things while we don't, so we don't have to worry about, like, daytime business. Okay, can I keep getting up here? Now, these guys are still here. I want a quick save. We've got at least a little while before we have to worry about stuff. I want to try talking to him again.
Officer! God damn it, pull yourself together, René. What do you want?
What is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud? All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon. He catches your glance and nods. This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in the service of Frisel I, the Army Le Lion, and the valiant King Philippe V before him.
Do you mean Frisel the Fawn? You do not speak his name, Craven. Although he was a clown, he adds.
He turns back to you.
But he was our clown, ours to ridicule, and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You'll get to it, don't worry. Thank you for your time. Have I actually ever really talked to this guy? I think I mostly just talked to René.
Oh, I have really outdone myself.
He takes a bite of his... He takes a bite of his sandwich.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's the little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Oh, hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
You mentioned Jeanne-Marie Billiot. Who is that? Oh, sweet Janine. He gets his dreamy look in his eyes. She was the finest woman in all of Reverchol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston.
There's an almost imperceptibly small tremble in his voice.
Let her rest in peace.
His tone lacks its usual intensity. Maybe he doesn't feel like he has the right to speak on the matter, so you both knew her.
We knew her all right.
His friendly face lights up.
Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16.
Looks at the carabiner almost gently.
They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy. And then you stole her from me.
He jerks forward and then grabs his chest and stops. Easy, fellas. No need for this to get ugly.
Oh, officer,
Gaston is unfazed by the outburst.
It hardly got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the 3 of us were just learning to walk and talk. You stole her from me,
René repeats, trying to steady his breathing and still clutching his chest.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we've been pretty close ever since you 2 had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress. We were just boys then. This was different. You...
The tall veteran looks at you and nods.
No point starting this all over again. For the thousandth and first time, especially when we have company.
He turns to you. Officer, what happened to her?
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage. Peaceful.
He smiles faintly.
René and I were both by her bedside when she...
He pauses, searching for the right word.
Died.
He sharply fills the silence and adds,
No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it now?
Departed. His partner finishes his sentence, then chuckles.
Until the end, she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
Why do you think she was indecisive?
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which of us to marry.
Look in his eyes is happy and distant.
She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married.
Nothing wrong with weighing your options first.
Heck,
he says with a chuckle.
Technically, we're both still engaged to her. You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy, he says with heavy resentment. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers.
You're still...
remembers you are still there. Falls silent and turns away. Thanks for sharing.
Of course, officer, he says with a smile. Memories are all we have left.
Tell me, what do you know about the dead man?
Let me think.
He nods at the clouds wistfully.
I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. That's all I know, really.
Really? You know absolutely nothing?
No, officers, I'm sorry, and I really would like to assist, he adds, smiling apologetically. You are both good guys, I can see that. And then help them, you wimp.
Reproach fills his eyes.
You have plenty of shoulder with the gauche caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything.
His cheeks turn red.
I was keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here. Sounds a bit like you're holding back.
I'm not, he assures you. I'm not even at... Of course he's holding back, the carabiner crosses his arms. His mouth is so full of union, prick, he can't even speak properly. Can I at least finish my effing sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, Renee?
His eyes are furious.
I'm not anyone important in the union. I just know Everard.
How do you know Everard?
Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers, he says solemnly. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium. What do you know about history?
The carabiner snaps at Gaston.
You never witnessed history, you only heard about it, years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and then turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid, and alone, like a cracking marble statue. Let's not get caught in the... Lieutenant lowers his voice. Crossfire. Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. The animosity is ancient. Are you a union member?
Oh!
His cheeks turn red again.
In many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties. Help with the little things. Everard, Edgar, the older debutors all know me.
In many ways?
Oh, yes.
So you're not an actual member?
Not in the technical sense.
His eyes fixed on the boulets in the crater.
I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Everard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
So that's what it was before, him hiding something. Tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your eyes, and before your and Renee's eyes.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that.
He frowns.
He's a weather vane, turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble, he continues, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence, never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
What are the little things you do for Everard?
Writing, mostly. He smiles. Occasionally he needs something written. I happen to have a way with words, people say.
What things do you write for him?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for newspapers, about Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Everard and I have these long talks where he tells his little penman exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Are you a caviar socialist? The old man starts laughing.
I don't consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not something I involve myself in, officer.
Wait, how can you write those newspaper pieces if you're not political?
Officer, I have a vivid imagination, he laughs again. And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough. No need to sink in politics.
He just fluffs it up.
Of course. Don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch.
So, are you a weather van?
I prefer highly adaptable myself.
He chuckles merrily.
Has a better ring to it, don't you think? Mon Dieu,
the carabiner closes his eyes like he's never going to open them again. That's all for now. Conclude. It looks delicious. Can I have a bite of that?
I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food, he says, and quickly adds, nothing personal, just principle. The only one you have.
The sandwich looks like a culinary wonder, well made and abundant in components. The author sure knew their craft. In addition to this obvious slice of ham, a fat one, you notice a brim of tomato peeking from the below. Is that mayonnaise? Okay, I'm not hungry or anything.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
He's visibly relieved. You must have other business then.
Sandwich!
Alright, this is how we're gonna do it. I admire your handiwork, chef. But a few things I do differently.
Like what, officer?
His eyes rest on the sandwich.
This is as good as they come in Revachol. I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salad, salmon, sandwiches, bingo. This calls for an engineering angle, structural rigidity of exposed rafters, latticeworks, that type of approach. How do you put a large slice of Olduvayan cheese, Olduvayan cheese crosswise from the ham? It would minimize the component loss via crumbling.
Mon Dieu, that is an excellent idea, he exclaims. That would virtually negate the component loss.
Beautiful. Now bring it home with paprika. I'll do you one better. Air pocket between the cheese and ham could house pre-roasted paprika.
C'est cela delicieux. I don't know. He shouts excitedly. Can you make that sandwich, officer?
Sure, but I'm gonna need yours as a prototype first.
I hope you're not just tricking an old man out of what little he has left.
He says solemnly and hands you a sandwich. Initial development takes time, of course, but in 6 to 9 months, you will eat the sandwich of the gods.
Or god of sandwiches, maybe.
It tries to pitch in.
But meanwhile, what can I do for you here and now, officer?
Bye for now. Sandwich? I got a sandwich? Alright, get out of here, Kim. You got a corpse to deliver. Let's see. Which actually is up in the body. I should probably go do that. I'm fine with this. Sandwich of the gods, indeed. I liked it better when it was snowing. Alright, well, let's get this corpse out of here before it becomes worse. We got everything we needed out of it. Bag him and take him away. Lieutenant takes the body away. Worker alone for the rest of the day. Alright, he takes out the shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face. Need a little help carry him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs. Bag the corpse and drag to the motor carriage.